Then we come to the issue of generosity, which is a very, very critical factor of leadership. No one respects a leader who is stingy. No one respects a leader who will not share. No one respects a leader who is not with his people. And this is true if you look at leaders even across, if you take Genghis Khan for example. Genghis Khan had enormous, the kind of loyalty that Genghis had from his people was probably unprecedented in the sense of, very few people had that kind of loyalty. And what do they say about Genghis Khan? They say about Genghis Khan that he ate what his people ate and he ate with them. He lived in a tent like they lived in a tent his whole life. He did not eat separately, he sat with them, he ate with them and he ate what they ate. What the troops ate is what the king ate. They say the same thing about Salahuddin Ayyubi Rahmatullah alayh. They say the same thing about Khalid bin Walid radhiyallahu anhu. And of course we know that this was true of Rasulullah ﷺ. In the battle of Khandaq, Nabi ﷺ, a man comes to him and he says, he lifts up his shirt, he says, Ya Rasulullah, see, I got a stone tied on my belly, I am so hungry. Nabi ﷺ lifts up his shirt and there are 3 stones. 3 flat stones tied on his belly to keep hunger away. Generosity comes before anything else. In generosity, I mentioned to you the dua after Taif, Fatah Makkah and so on as examples of forgiveness, but these are also examples of amazing generosity. When Rasulullah ﷺ could have done something to retaliate, he did not. Another totally amazing example of generosity is the treatment of Nabi ﷺ with respect to Abdullah bin Ubay bin Khalaf. Abdullah bin Ubay bin Khalaf bin Salul was the head of the Munafiqeen in Medina. And he was a man who never left, he didn't let anything pass, he did not allow any opportunity to go past where he could have harmed Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He tried his best, he did many things. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came back from Tabuk, his son Abdullah bin Abdullah, who was a Muslim, he came to him and he said, Ya Rasulullah, my father passed away. He just died and I want you to please give your thobe, you give your shirt for me to use as kafan for my father. He knew his father, he knew who his father was, he was afraid for his father's akhirah and he was trying to do the best for his father. Now tell me what, in terms of barakah, what is better, what can be better than the actual shirt of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam which was next to his skin to be a kafan for the person who is being buried. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam took it off and gave it to him. Then Abdullah bin Abdullah, he said to him, Ya Rasulullah, can you please come and do the Salatul Janaza for my father? Salatul Janaza is dua of maghfirah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said yes. He went there. When he stood there with the body and he was standing there, Umar ibn al-Khattab radhiyallahu anhu came and stood before him. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, do not do this. Do you know who this is? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes, I know who it is, Umar, move aside. Again he came and said, Ya Rasulullah, please do not do this. Don't pray for this man. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, move aside. So then Umar moved aside. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed Salatul Janaza for Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam put him in the grave. After that, and this is the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have revealed that ayah at any time. He could have revealed this ayah right there before the Salatul Janazah. Allah did not do that. His Nabi was doing something, Allah let him do it. But then he revealed the ayat of Surah Tawbah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, even if you ask forgiveness for him, meaning Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul and the Munafiqun, he said, even if you ask forgiveness for them 70 times, 70 marra, Allah will not forgive them. Right? What was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's reaction to that? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if I knew that my Rabb would forgive him if I asked forgiveness 71 times, I would ask 71 times. Who is he saying this for? His worst enemy. That is the meaning of generosity. And that's why it's amazing. Just think about it in your own life. What we remember about people is how we felt in those situations. That's why they say people won't remember what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. So in any situation, when you are generous, people remember that. And they remember that for far longer than you might imagine. There was a woman who used to sing in Makkah. She was a singer and she used to sing some very derogatory and insulting poetry relating to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There were people who were writing that stuff and she used to sing. So after Fatah Makkah and so on, she lost all her clientele. She became very poor. So she came to Medina. Imagine the reputation for generosity, how it spreads and what people do. So this woman now, where does she come? She comes to Medina to the house of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And she says, Ya Rasulullah, I am a faqir, I have got nothing, I have become a bhikari. So please give me something. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked her, he said, what happened to all your clients? You used to sing all this stuff. He said, they're all gone, there's nobody there. Nobody's, So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, will you become Muslim? She said, no. Imagine. You have to respect the integrity of these people. She would have pretended to be Muslim. No, she was honest, she was a straight woman. Wallah alam, maybe she became Muslim later, I don't know about that. But he asked her, he said, will you become Muslim? She said no. What does he do? Does he kick her out? No. He called his family and said, give this woman. And they say they gave her so much he couldn't carry it. Yeah? Generosity. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is sleeping outside under a tree. Heat of summer in the middle of the afternoon, he's sleeping under a tree. And his sword, he hung it on the tree. There was a man who came there, he saw the chance of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sleeping under a tree with a sword there. He took the sword and na'udhu he kicked him with his foot. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam woke up, he saw the man standing there with a naked sword. The man said, Ya Muhammad, who will save you from me now? Rasoolullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Allah. The moment he said Allah, the man started shivering. And the sword dropped from his hand. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam picked up the sword, put it on his neck and he said, who will save you from me now? He said, you will save me. The man said, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, will you become Muslim? He said, no. He said, no. You got a sword through his neck. He said, no. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, go. He didn't chop his neck. He didn't say, you don't become Muslim, I'll kill. No. He said, okay, go. This is the meaning of generosity. We come therefore to kindness.